Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Murders at Karlov Manor, limited premiere draft on deck, in store for you today, as it has been for a while, making our push back into Mythic early this season now that we're drafting 5 times a week. And we're going to dive right into today's Pack 1 Pick 1 with a hotly debated topic among content creators in this set. Pack 1 Pick 1 Novice Inspector versus Dogwalker. It's a tough one here. I don't think any of the uncommons or rares really hold a candle to this. Coveted Falcon has a high upside, but also pretty high low side. But both of these cards are just quite good. I lean towards Novice Inspector over Dogwalker. I respect those that lean Dogwalker over Novice Inspector, but I do believe these are the best 2 commons in the format, or pretty darn close to it. But I like starting my draft with Novice Inspector and going from there. So speaking of going from there, where can we go? Drag the Canal is a very good card. It's a 2-mana 2/2 instant speed. And if a creature died this turn, you also gain 2, surveil 2, and you investigate once. Which is all very good, but I'm going to go ahead and take Inside Source here. Goes with Novice Inspector. There's really not much else that's that great here. There's a Fester Leech. There's a Gadget Technician. And a Night Drinker Moroi. Those are the only other cards I'd be remotely excited to put into a deck, but I'm just going to start with a couple of good white cards here and probably get pushed off of it in short order, as usually happens. So what do we do here? The next best cards, Forensic Researcher and Out Cold, in my opinion. I think I'll take the Researcher here over something like Out Cold Crime Novelist, Coerce to Kill. It is a detective for blue-white if that's what we do end up doing here. And look, white is already getting cut quite a bit, as kind of expected. So we could take Nervous Gardener to go with the Forensic Researcher blue-green plan. I love backdooring into blue-green. It's a very, very good deck. Had tons of success with it. There's also Unauthorized Exit and Hotshot Investigators for the blue life, but don't think we really need that. There's also Slimy Dual Leech. Slimy Dual Leech actually pretty good with Novice Inspector and Inside Source, and black is usually slightly underdrafted, as it is the worst color in the set. But I have had tons of success in black-white here. I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Dual Leech for that reason. Once again, white looking cut. Another chalk outline. We've already tried that. We had fun with that earlier this week. Check out that video if you haven't already. It is in the thumbnail. You can check out the chalk outline deck. It was a fun one. But let's go ahead and take Clandestine Meddler here. 3-mana 3/2. You can suspect a creature and then surveil whenever suspected creatures attack on your side. Not too bad. White is completely gone by pick 6, as pretty much expected. So let's take Sanguine Savior over a bunch of not great cards here. And I don't think that blue-black rare wheels, but I mean, we could be blue-black today. I don't like the deck. I've had horrible success with that deck. In fact, I've drafted it twice and gone a combined 1-6. And I think every other draft this format that wasn't blue-black produced at least 3 wins for me. So, Persuasive Interrogators for the blue-black life. There's also another Sanguine Savior and a Crovan Haunch. I don't mind Crovan Haunch. I think it's fine in basically any deck. It goes well with the Savior we already have. So let's go ahead and take Crovan Haunch here. And follow it up with, I guess, a Repeat Offender. This card is not great. I don't like it, but it could be playable in black-white, which is usually a bit more of an aggressive deck. Everything else is not particularly exciting there. So have 3 white cards, 3 black cards, and a black-white card. So we're not locked into black-white, but pretty close, as we do know that white is already very cut this draft. And we're going to have to hope that pack 2 we can open some good white. Get past some good white. Not exactly sure. Let's see. Curious Cadaver did wheel for blue-black. Confiscation. I think Faithlight has the highest upside here. I don't really like the Cadaver. Let's see if the blue-black rare wheeled in this next pack. I doubt it did. Looks like it did not. Guess we'll go ahead and take Defenestrated Phantom and further cement to our neighbors that white is off the table for them. Yeah, nothing here. Don't really like any of that. Don't think I'll play Investigators no matter what version we go with, and not Behind the Mask. Alright, what can we find in pack 2? Some good cards. There's a Fester Leech. There's a Repeat Offender. That's not among the good cards, but I was just pointing out black cards there in my mind. Yaris and Krenko's Buzz Crusher. I think Yaris is good, but we are every color but green and red. So I don't think we're going to take either of these two. We currently do have 2 detectives in Inspector and Inside Source, and Perimeter Enforcer is good. Wait, well, Inside Source isn't a detective, but it makes one, as well as Forensic Researcher here. Again, not playing red, I don't think. Cold Case Cracker could be interesting, but I'd like to cement myself further in white with the Perimeter Enforcer here. And this is a horrible pack. The white cards aren't good. The red cards are okay. Might just take a Granite Witness, though, and still keep the opportunity for blue-white to be open. I do love Satchel. I do love Dog Walker. Forensic Researcher, again. Black is a color you do not want to fight over. There's a Market Watch Phantom, which is a detective and is pretty aggressive for a blue-white deck here. Same thing with Dog Walker. But Dog Walker I found to be a little bit worse in not exactly a red-white deck could flip, because flipping it for 2 white is not the greatest thing. It's probably still better than a Phantom though, right? No, I'm going to take the Phantom. Could be wrong, but now we've got Crime Stopper Sprite versus Museum Nightwatch. I'm thinking of myself going back to blue-white now after this. I do like Museum Nightwatch. And the Sprite is fine. I guess I'll take the first copy of Sprite over the first copy of Museum Nightwatch here, and then follow it up with a Cold Case Cracker, and probably lock in blue-white, a deck I've had middling success with so far. I do love Hard Evidence, though. 1 mana 0/3, Investigate. It's a nice little card. Ooh, that is a late Buried in the Garden, but we're going to take Projector Inspector here. Pretty easily for us. Gives us our 8th detective. I guess I'll take the uncommon. I'm not taking Behind the Mask, and I think I'm blue-white now. Is it too much to open an Ezram for pack 3? A card I've had to pass twice because of its very difficult mana cost, and lost to about 5 times. So I don't think I've actually played Auspicious Arrival before in any of my decks, but I think it's fine. Ooh, Researcher Wheel, that's pretty good. So do I think this deck is good so far? No. But we still have a whole other pack left. And unfortunately, just don't really have the rares or anything. We pack 1, pick 1 Novice Inspector. So, alright, no witnesses. This could actually be a no witnesses deck, but there's also another Projector Inspector and a Thinking Cap hopefully on the wheel here. I think we want to be a little bit more assertive. No Witnesses is difficult because it's a powerful card, but almost every white deck in this format doesn't really have room for a board wipe because it defeats the entire purpose of what you're going for. So I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and take the Inspector as the 3-drop here. Alright, as good as Researcher is, I don't think 3 of them are very good. So we could take Eliminate the Impossible, a second Sprite, another Thinking Cap or a Due Diligence here. I think I'm going to take the Eliminate the Impossible. Our 3-drop slot is looking totally fine. And I do like at least a copy of Eliminate here. Darn. That's a bomb. But we can't take it, unfortunately. We are so far away from being able to cast that. If we were one of these colors, I would take it and make it work, but we are literally 0 of them. So we just have to take a Cold Case Cracker or a Deduce here. I think I'm going to take the Cracker. Furtive Courier, Jaded Analyst, Shadowy Backstreet. There's really nothing I really need to splash over here. The Meddler isn't really worth splashing, neither any of the black cards, so don't think I need the Backstreet. Guess I could take Jaded Analyst. I'm not huge on Furtive Courier. It's also not a detective, and our 3-drop slot, like I just showed, already has 6 creatures in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the 2 that will likely be able to attack a decent little bit in this deck with Eliminate the Impossible, Auspicious Arrival, Hard Evidence, Novice Inspector, Projector Inspector, all these cards kind of making us draw 2, at least 2 in a turn. Reasonable Doubt, I don't think so. Griffknot Tracker, I think Granite Witness is just better than, and same reasons I'm not going to take another Courier here, so let's take another Granite Witness. Could have had all the black fixing. Do I want... I don't have, like, very much removal at all. I don't think I'm playing Dramatic Accusation, but I'm also probably not playing either of these cards. Maybe I play this. We just don't have a lot of interaction here. In fact, basically none. I guess here's a Deduce I could play. Would I rather Sanitation Automaton? 1, 2, 3 2-drops so far? Probably not. So let's just take the Deduce. It does Investigate as well. Tracker versus Bubble Smuggler. What's our 4-drops looking like? These are kind of like 3s. I guess I can take Bubble Smugs here. Not thrilled with it. Thinking Cap Wield with our 13 detectives. And we might get another one. Yeah, we did. But I don't know if I want 2 of these. So let's take Due Diligence over a second Thinking Cap and basically finish it off with not a whole lot here. Alright, I'll go ahead and build this deck, and then I'll see you after deck building. Alright, here's where I ended up after deck building. We have 14 creatures, and 13 of them are detectives, and the one that isn't makes a detective. So we're playing Thinking Cap here. We've got some removal. Misspoke. Got some combat tricks. We have Dramatic Accusation as our only piece of interaction, as well as Reasonable Doubt. So that is not that great. I think we're going to struggle because of that. There are a lot of powerful cards in this format that you really struggle against if you can't deal with them, and this is our only way to do so. 16 lands, I don't think... We've got Double Inspector to loot away some other things, as well as Double Researcher to help us out if we do miss land drops. Our curve cap's at 4. We got a couple of disguised creatures as well. I'm not super sold on this. We just don't have the power. This format is a power format. You very much need power to compete against the top decks, and this does not have it. It does have synergy, but just don't know if that's going to be enough in the queues here. So I'm going to give this one a shot, and I will see you in game number 1. All right, we do go first, and... hand is pretty darn good. Inspector, Evidence, Thinking Cap. Got everything going for us here. Market Watch Phantom. Ooh, well, they got one too, so looks like we can't win. Darn. I expect them to block. It was basically a free attack, though, because my plan is to play Market Watch Phantom here. And then next turn we can play Evidence, Thinking Cap, and Equip. Never mind. We can play Evidence and this doesn't have Defender. That's pretty cute with Crowbot Haunch. So we can actually equip up our crab and attack as a 2/3. Let's go. The unfortunate situation is we have missed a land drop, which is never where you want to be. You know, playing 16, you're going to risk doing that sometimes. Down goes Phantom. Alright. I guess we're just doing this. And bashing for 2. And continually missing land drops, unfortunately. Sure. No, thank you. Alright. Who needs lands when you could just beat them down with a 2/4 and a 2/3? The answer is me. I need lands. Just because I'm running 16. Aww. Boo. Doesn't mean I should miss my first 4 lands. Oh, come on. Now I have nothing. Okay. We hit a land. They also missed one, notably. I got one here. And Disguise. No. Well, the most mana efficient thing to do is this. I'm sure they'll have removal for it, which won't be great, but, I mean, I don't want to leave mana on the battlefield, so down goes Cracker in the worst way possible, because now they have one. Alright. Our hand is too... Again, we don't have great cards. We have good cards. We just don't have great cards that all work together. I mean, see? Now this thing is dead. Take 3, go to 6. Take at least 3 again. Go to 3. Yeah, go to 1. I have to double block this. Oh, and they just have removal too? No? So I don't see any way around this at this point, because both of these are lethal next turn, and they have removal. Hey, land, we did it. Yeah, don't have anything here. I guess I could have cracked this, but I still die to that. Well, I wouldn't technically be dead. I was dead. I was dead. All right, we're up first, and it's about as good as the hand is gonna get. Just a bunch of commons and uncommons. That's what we're doing here. Let's just hold up the Clue and Reasonable Doubt. I think I'm actually fine just letting that resolve. I mean, I have an 0-3. What are you going to do about that? Inside source. That's something I might have liked to counter. Go ahead and equip this here, and then we can still hold up Reasonable Doubt with Forensic Researcher. Or eliminate the impossible. Both of those could be good. Okay, so let's do this and this here and see what kind of trick they have. Yeah, that's not going to work out for you, unfortunately. Don't really have anything else to be doing here, so I guess we're getting in. Okay, that's a dramatic accusation target. Don't know why it tapped like that. That's kind of confusing, but sure. Because I could shuffle it away if they had some sort of fight spell or something, but they're not in green, so they probably don't. At this point in the first game, we had 2 lands on the battlefield. Now we have 7. Sometimes that happens. Make that 8. Already got half the lands out of our deck, whereas last time we were screwed and only had 2. So here we are. Okay, do they have a combat trick? Auspicious Arrival, maybe? The chase is on. Okay. Becomes a 4-1. Guess now I can do this. Becomes a 2-1. Do they have another trick? Okay, yeah, I mean, kill my crab. Guess you get to keep your creature, but... Hey, it actually tapped right to let me leave up Dramatic Accusation activation here. Can't get the dogs, unfortunately, but I think I'm okay if they want to be using Make Your Move on Krovod Haunch. Alright, let's get on in. Play Cold Case Cracker. End the turn. I think I can take 3 from the tracker here. What do they have? They have just have another trick? Do I just want to get another trick out of their hand? I don't have any prospects of drawing a second card in my turn at any point again in the near future. So I guess I'll just trade this for a combat trick. See if they have another Chases on or something, or Auspicious Arrival, or... Another Chases on, okay. That's fine. I traded that for the Analyst here, although they did get an extra card out of it, so there is that. Ooh, is that just... That's gotta just be lethal, right? Yeah. There we go. Due Diligence for the win. Not a great card, but when it's good, it's good. Alright, the hand certainly isn't great here, but we do have Reasonable Doubt to counter their first Disguise creature. They do have Shock in hand, which is going to make Inside Source worse. Not that we can cast it at any point, but it does dodge. Cold Case Cracker does dodge the Shock, so that is nice. That was also a good draw. If they don't play anything we can counter, we can just cast Deduce here. Here comes Disguise Creature, more than likely, and I'll just go ahead and counter it. A bit unfortunate. Gonna have to be mana inefficient here and cast Deduce, but... Okay. So we know they have Shock, which makes Inside Source slightly worse. So let's just play this. They missed a land drop, which is good. We could trade this for this plus Shock if they want to try to do that. This could be the 3-2 that makes Thopter when it flips up. Gearbane Orangutan, probably, yeah, destroying our artifact. Okay. So that thing has a reach, but that's okay. We can attack through it. Let's do this. Plus Novice Inspector here. Now we have 6 power in the air that both dodge shock. They have to have Galvanize to kill our crackers here. It just feels so weird playing Magic and constantly saying the word cracker every time I play blue decks. Like, why is that the name of a Magic card? I understand it's like cracking the case, but it's still just such a weird thing to say. Okay, so again, we know they have shock, so I think I'm fine. I think we win this race, so sure, hit me. Alright, we'll hit you for 7 now. Are they going to shock the Novice Inspector? Oh, they did have Galvanize. Okay, so now they also have shock for anything else. Probably our 2/2 that's going to come out of the inside source here. Happy to block the Orangutan. As this is something I expected to die to shock in hand anyway. Okay. So they do have all the tricks. Not too bad. Let's get in here. I'm okay trading shock for inside source. I don't think we need to protect that as much. So we did get the shock out of their hand. At least there's that. And then now we play Projector Inspector, which is a much better target for the shock. And I would like to do this primarily so I can hold up Faith Flight while also cracking a clue here. They had 2. So now we've got 7 points of damage in the air. Although this thing can block this relatively well. Though we can Dramatic Accusation that because that does have reach. And then they're dead to both of these next turn. So let's do Researcher, draw, discard, enchant that, Crowvad Haunch, and then just attack in the air. They weren't officially dead, but we'll take the win there. Alright, Synergy won that time. See how many more we can get with this. Alright, starting on the draw again, and very similar hand. Gonna go ahead and keep it, because I don't have much else. Excuse me. Tunnel Tipster, and we do not have interaction. So, I'm just going to be most mana efficient here and just crack the clue. Make them think I might have, like, reasonable doubt or something. Yeah, can't really do anything about any of this. I guess I'll just get my loot on. I'll just discard the land and complain about missing a land drop in a couple turns. How about that? How's that sound? Because at this point, I think we are going to get overpowered by bigger creatures that we can't interact with. So, I mean, they've already got 5 mana. That's among the least scary things they could have played. Let's do this plus Krovod Haunch here. I think I'll just get rid of the combat trick. Chalk outline, alright. They're going deep. Reasonable doubt. Okay, so let's disguise a Granite Witness, and then we can either cast Reasonable Doubt on something, or we can flip up the Granite Witness here. And then the Granite Witness starts bashing for 5 with Krovod Haunch. And I don't know how good Reasonable Doubt is actually going to be. Because they currently have 5/6 mana. So they have to cast a 5 or a 6 drop for us to be able to counter it. Now they have 7 mana, so they have to cast a 6 or a 7 drop. Don't know how... Probably gonna loot away Reasonable Doubt if I can't cast it this turn. Take action here. Yeah, I just don't think Reasonable Doubt's going to be good. We have technically 6 mana if we want it. So I could do Cracker, hold up, deduce. I could do Cracker, Market Watch, Phantom, just progress the board a little bit more. Oh, they've got the counter plus put counters on things spell. Okay, so that's going to make their creature very big. Repulsive Mutation. They have a 6/7. I can chump that at least once with my... That's like our only piece of interaction. I'd like to keep it in hand. Yeah, this crab ain't doing much for us anymore, so let's go ahead and just gain 6 life because of it, basically. They have a Vengeful Creeper that kills our Granite Witness. How brutal. Ugh, goodness. You hate to see that. I don't know if we can outrace this anymore. Did I just clicked on the wrong one? That was great. Meant to cast Inside Source there, but that didn't work out. Think we'll be okay. And then we can start using the researcher to tap down their creeper here, I guess. I don't know what this thing is, but hopefully it's not anything super big. Sure. Still can't collect evidence. Do it for 3. Do we have anything that's exactly 3? Kind of. Man, what I would give to have those flyers back. So this could be a 5-4. I could make it a 6. I could make it a 7-6 right now. See if they want to trade Eavesdropper and Tipster for the Phantom. In which case they could start examining away. No, they didn't even want to do that. They go to 3. That's interesting. What do they have that makes them comfortable enough to go to 3? See if they dump enough in the yard to be able to collect evidence here. Yeah, that'll do it. Which also gives them a 2/2. That also investigates. Twice. They clearly have removal for this, because why would they have gone to 3? No? This might have reach. This might be a Riftburst Hellion. So then we do this. And then we tap down this thing. And that should be lethal, I think. Right? Yeah, nothing else. Well, they could have clues and stuff here, so let me make them do it first and make them use their mana to flip this up and then tap it down. I think that's a Riftburst Hellion. No, nothing yet. That's a good sign. They just put themselves to 3 and then died to a big phantom, drawing any creature off the top. Alright, guess we'll take that one. Don't think we deserve to win it, but we'll take it. Okay, we go first here. Boy, if one of these was a Plains, this would be incredible. I still think it's keepable, because we could find a Plains. We have cap on 1, counter something, and then we've got at least 2 shots at a Plains, maybe 3. Yeah, now we've got our second shot, hopefully, to find a land here. And sometimes it doesn't work, unfortunately. Alright, let's find one now. Come on. That's fine. I could take that. Gives me at least a loot here. So we'll do this, and now, interestingly enough, I get rid of Crime Stopper Sprite? I think that's the worst of the cards in our hand. So let's just get this down to start, and then we can... we can start hitting with Projector Inspector here. And then also getting triggers off of this starting next turn. And I think this is a bigger and better thing to have the thinking cap on. Now we just gotta hope they don't have removal right now, but even if they did, we got more stuff coming here. Hedge Whisperer, fine. Alright, let's just get another flyer down. I'm kind of fine without the mana right now. Like, I'll regret that later, but, I mean, I've got 2 flyers. Okay. That does trade for our Cold Case Cracker here. Oh. It gets a counter on anything. That's interesting. Alright. Well, in that case, what I'm going to do is pump this up big enough. Ooh, what do they have? Could have some sort of combat trick here. I hope it's not the, +1/+1 for each creature you control? That wouldn't be great. I mean, I'm not gonna not attack, though. I mean, if they have the trick, they have the trick, I guess. Okay, they didn't have it. What did they have for 1 mana? Oh, Slice from Shadows and just didn't want to cast it, maybe? Put the counter on the tracker again, I assume. Yep. No blocks. Play Inspector. Churn through our deck here. I do think it is Slice from Shadows. They're going to block that and then Slice. But the thing is, they also have to chump the Projector Inspector now and then go to 2. Which is still pretty good for us, I think. Oh no, they just don't have anything, I guess. I'm going to put this here because now we have 4 lethal creatures next turn. So they have to have 4 blockers or a board wipe, which they could have, but not incredibly likely. That's 4 blockers. Gotta say. Did not expect that to be the draw there, but sure. And that should do it for us, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Play this face down. Turn it face up. Tap this. And that should do it. And they have 3 blockers, and we have 4 attackers. Nice. Nice little tempo deck there. Our flyers are doing some work, as well as Projector Inspectors being the MVP of this deck here. Look at this hand. Hard Evidence on 1. What more could you want? Really nothing. Because now we can have a 2/3, or no, a 2/5 Vigilance Crab. How great. Don't cast anything. Don't do it. Nice. Alright, I'll fall into your bait. Counter my Jaded Analyst. I wanted to hold up Deduce. Oh, wait. This is Deduce. For some reason I thought this was Reasonable Doubt. I'm glad I didn't make that mistake. Was just going to hold it up, but glad I got my creature down. Red Herring. Well, I can block that for days. See if they shock my crab. Nope. Mask Maker. Okay. What now? What now? Just play a 2/2 flyer, I guess? Yeah, flyers have proven to be very good. That has basically won us all of our games. Alright, I guess we're trading for a combat trick here. Fine to do that with Jaded Analyst. Sure, well, that's not the greatest one for us, unfortunately, because now they get a 2/2 and they can cast a Disguise Creature for 2, so that is pretty good value from them. If they attack with everything, clearly I just can't block. Can't really block either of these. This tells me this is probably the 3/2 that makes a 1/1 flyer here. The non-attack with the 2/2 tells me I probably could block Red Herring. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth potentially risking that they have shock or something. Because due diligence on my 2 flyers is going to be really difficult for them to deal with here. It's not the most mana efficient thing, but I mean... it really messes up what they're trying to do, more than likely. So we bash for 9 in the air, and then we still have 7 power in the air. I think this is Gadget Technician. That's my guess on this one here. Steam Core Scholar, that's a flyer. Flyer I can't do anything about. Why is this so dark over here? I guess it's because it's the weird alt art fancy looking version. Who knows? Discarded Satchel and Clan Basher. Alright, we didn't call their bluff, so good for them. But let's get in here. They will chump, go to 6, and they're dead on board now, except for the fact that we're pretty sure that they have Gadget Technician there. Which does make a Thopter, which could block these things. I mean, I'll keep blocking with my O3. Doesn't hurt me at all. Here's the perfect counter to Red Herring. Hard Evidence, Crab. Okay, so we're pretty sure that they've got Gadget Technician, so they're not dead. So I guess I'm just going to get in with these. They'll probably chump this one, go to 3. They'll be dead next turn, multiple different ways here. I could activate this and attack, but I don't think that's great. So let's just get in. They might have like Galvanize plus Flip, in which case they take 0 here, but... oh, unauthorized exit. Yeah, sure. Can't do anything about that. There's the Gadget Technician. Make a Thopter, and they would only do that if they planned on chumping here, I think. And they do. I don't think I need to tap anything, so let's just play this. Play this and crack a clue and hold up, eliminate the impossible here. Now they currently are dead on board if they don't have any interaction at all, but if they just tap out, I'll go for it with Inside Source, but I don't think they will tap out. Because if they tapped out, they would just be dead. So, because they will get priority for the clue here. So, shock. Okay, sure. Crack a clue. And still something else. Land and done. Okay. Crowvad Haunch. Interesting. So, I do have lethal on board. Could play Crowvad Haunch, equip it, and activate this onto this and attack for 7. I just don't think that is the best. Because if they kill that, I can't do anything else this turn. What I'd rather do is just attack here. If they've got Galvanize or something, I just let them do that. Okay, see, it wouldn't have worked because they could have jumped. So they'll do that, and then they'll be dead next turn to a Granite Witness here. That I think I'm just hard casting. Because now they're dead to the combination of these two flyers. And then I've also got Eliminate and a Clue Crack as well. Everything is on the board for them currently. Wouldn't be shocked if they cycle through their Red Herring to try to find an answer. Looks like they did. And if they find an answer to one of these, I still have the Haunch to do the exact play that I just mentioned last turn to the other one. It looks like they didn't find an answer. Look, flyers. I mean, flyers are good, even if you can't interact with your opponent sometimes. We just haven't played against all the bombs yet. Up first here, Market Watch Phantom on 2. Auspicious Arrival to maybe use as a combat trick and cycle itself a little bit. And obviously would like to draw an island by turn 3, and then we're off and running. Yeah, Scapegoat, okay. That's another thing we could at least play next turn. Playing against Homer Simpson himself. Playing against Red-White. Alright, can we not get mana screwed here? Or will we get run over? That's part of the answer. We might get run over. Attack with both, I'm sure. No. It's a great day if Reckless Detective is not attacking. I unfortunately don't think I can go for Auspicious Arrival. Artifacts and creatures entering don't cause abilities to trigger. So Phantom can't gain flying much anymore. Unless they choose to block here, then we can use Auspicious Arrival. How do we want to do this now? Do we get rid of the Thrall? I think we have to get rid of the Thrall. Because otherwise Inside Source is dying. Oh, do they have Shock? Oh no. They also have Shock. I did not see that one coming. Oh, Felonious Rage. Okay. Alright, well at least they still trade. And we missed more land drops. I didn't see a flash creature coming. I gotta admit that. So that threw off my calculus a little bit. But doesn't really matter. If we don't draw blue, we're just not winning the game anyway. So doesn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah. That should do it, unfortunately. And, you know, lost to Mana Screw. If we had drawn a blue, we could Dramatic Accusation and potentially still be in the game, but not really. Can I interest you in yet another potentially Mana Screwed hand? Because that's what we're keeping. We got 1, 2, 3 here, and it's a pretty good 1, 2, 3. And Plains is the worst thing we could have drawn, so that's great. Hopefully no interaction for Enforcer into Inside Source. Jaded Analyst, that's probably okay. Blue card, that's not okay. Alright, we're both Mana Screwed. How about that? Ooh, that's nice. Let's do this first. Take action, discard Plains, get in for lifelink. Alright, now we are off and away. So are they. Disguise? Sure. Take action, draw, discard Plains, play Island, attack here. And next turn we can equip and play Crime Stopper Sprite, potentially. Depends on what this thing is. Now they have 5 mana, which is concerning. Can't really block that, because 5 mana is the magic number to eat our creatures here, so let's just have them attack. Post-combat Axebane Ferox. Yeah, that's pretty good. Take action, draw and discard Plains. Play Island, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna get on in there. Keep gaining a bunch of life. And if they deal with the Enforcer, then we equip it over to the Sprite and keep on going. And hope this thing doesn't have reach. I'm pretty sure it's not Riftburst Hellion because they attacked with it last turn. Okay, so Crime Stopper Sprite down. Sure, that's pretty good. Take action. Discard that. Go to combat. Get in for 4 more. And then just hold up to deuce, I think. And we're kind of all in on Perimeter Enforcer here at this point, so let's hope they can't find an answer to it. Yep, you crack a clue. We'll start by buffing up Enforcer yet again. Go ahead and I guess what I could... I don't have lethal anyway. I can give this +2/+0, but like that doesn't do anything right now, so let's just see what we can find from here. Yeah, see, like that's fine too. And then just attack in the air. And now they're at 3 and pretty much dead in most ways. Because we could even move Haunch over to the Phantom here. And it looks like we do, in fact, have it. Alright, last game, win or lose, we are currently 6-2, and obviously we need a land here. But if we can find one, we've got Inspector, which will help us find more. So we got 2 shots at a land to make sure we don't get screwed here. See if we can find it. That is not going to work. One more shot before we start getting behind. Boo. At least it's something we can counter, so I guess there were worse draws. Not many, but that was one of them. Give me something I can counter. Let me use my mana. Okay. Ugh. Alright, well it's something we can cast. But you get too far behind on mana and usually doesn't work out in your favor. Ooh, they're missing it too. Alright, let's go. Now this thing will be able to attack as well. What do we get rid of now? I think I'm going to get rid of Accusation, which is risky because it is one of our only ways to interact here. But I still think that's the way I'm going to go. In the next turn, we've got a couple options here. They did find their 4th. This thing gives +1/+1, and it attacks and surveils too. Okay. Alright, you attack. That means you probably have good blocks with whatever creature you're going to play. Hate that card. A lot. This is not the most mana-efficient turn here, but I would like to get rid of whatever these stupid things are. Furtive Courier. Probably could have waited to do that Try to get them a little bit more later, but I could have played something and then looted to try to find my 4th land here. Looks like our sprite can lock down their sprite next turn, more than likely. Surveil 2. Land in the yard, something else on top. Take 3. And what else you got? Bubble Smuggler. Land. Alright, well the most mana efficient thing to do at this point is to play the Cold Case Cracker, so that's what I'm going to do. Fey Flight. I think that's okay to dump here. I guess I'll trade this for a Bubble Smuggler if they want to. And now if we draw another land, we can disguise Granite Witness and flip it up to tap their sprite down, which will be a pretty mana efficient turn. Kept the card on top, whatever it was. So they have surveilled 2 cards to the top. Looks like Cracker's going down here. They have +2/+0 and bite down on crime or whatever. Yeah, they do. Okay, so we take 5. Maybe 7 if they attack with the morph as well. They did not. Very much like a land here. Okay, that's good. Can't really afford to trade off Inspector. It's kind of doing a ton of work for us right now. Opponent's been thinking hard about their decisions here. Take action. I think I can afford... These are all great cards for me here. I don't know what this could be. Hopefully no reach or flying creatures. That'd be good. They have another write down on crime. Oh, Archdruid's Charm. Okay. That's a little greedy, but they got away with it, having all their green mana over here. think I'll get rid of that now. We do have to try to race this thing, as it is a 4/4 flyer. We're at 6 here. Second Archdruid's Charm. What is going on? Yeah, that works. Go ahead and lock that thing down. Draw. I actually think Inside Source might be the worst in our hand here. I think we have to trade off Inspector for their 3/3 at this point. Or do we put them to 11, and the next turn we have them at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2? That's still not good enough. Alright, I guess I have to try to plan on blocking that, and then Cold Case Cracker and Sprite are going to have to deal with their Crime Stopper Sprite here. Oh, and they found red. Okay, so that probably unlocks whatever that was left in their hand, if I had to guess. Wow, what a mana base. Mountain, Island, double Archdruid's Charm. Yeah? Oh. Oh, and they have +3/+3 in Trample, I think. Yeah. Man. Well, that was tough. A tough beat there. I mean, a little suspect. I think that deck probably isn't going to do very well in the queue, if I had to guess. That's just my opinion. It's a little greedy, but you know, when those decks, you build greedy mana bases and greedy decks, when they work out really well. That's the reason that people go for it a lot of the time. But how many games would that person have lost if they just had 2 green on the battlefield and double Archdruid Charms in hand? Probably would have lost it relatively quickly, but is what it is. It is Magic the Gathering. We will take a 6-3 with this deck, which is fine with me. Look, 5, 6, 7 wins. Keep on getting all the way up there. 67% win percentage today. Keeping on with this deck kind of thing. And today's Friday. We've got some AI deck build Historic Brawl tomorrow, Wildcard Sunday, and then 5 more Premier Drafts of Karlov Manor next week. Let's see if we can get into Mythic next week. We're on a tear in this format. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.